How's it going, everyone? Hopefully you had an amazing week so far, and today we're going to be talking about some fragrances in my rotation. Welcome to week 24 of my fragrance weekly rotation series. Can't believe I've been doing it for 24 weeks. That is insane. But today we're going to be going over some really affordable, some Middle Eastern, and also some niche fragrances. So if you're interested in what I've been wearing this week, stick around, make yourself comfortable, and let's jump right in. How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the channel. It's so good to have you today. I'm Eli with Common Sense, and as always, put down in the comments below what you've been wearing and rocking this week, or if you have any new pickups or stuff that's in the mail en route. I'd love to hear about it and talk about it with y'all. So for Monday, I went with a really interesting fragrance. This one is from the house of Lattafa Pride. This one is going to be Lattafa Pride Ajwaa. So this fragrance is peculiar. It smells like a niche fragrance, and it's way more high quality now that it's kind of macerated and matured a little bit. And it was never a bad fragrance, but I feel like it just got even better with time, like it aged to perfection. This one's got a really interesting date note in the top, so it's almost like a dried prune. It's kind of fruity and slightly nutty, but at the same time, it's got a nice cinnamon spice to it. It smells a little bit wheat-like, and so I think even in the original review of this, it said it had like a bran note or like a cereal accord, and I definitely see what they're doing with that because it's kind of sweet. It's got a really nice earthy, kind of baked quality to it, and it just smells so incredible. It's also got like a brown sugar, cinnamon, and like a slightly maple vibe to it, and it just smells like a nice gourmand, kind of cinnamon spicy fragrance. And so for the fall, I think this is definitely going to be a stunner, and it just smells again like a much more expensive fragrance than it actually is. It smells like it could be like $150 or $200 niche fragrance, but nope, this one is from Lattafa Pride, and it's 40 bucks. I just wanted something that was going to be sweet, spicy, and just feel like it was the fall time, like it was autumn, and this is definitely what you want to smell like this fall. So that one is Lattafa Pride Ajwaa. Now for Tuesday, I went with a niche fragrance. I actually picked this one up from somebody on the Facebook Marketplace and saved a bunch of money, but I think it's still definitely worth getting your nose on. This one is from the house of City Rhythm, and this one is Red Line 2654. So this fragrance is going to be really familiar if you've smelled the Maison Francis Kurkdjian, the Baccarat Rouge 540 Extrait de Parfum, the red bottle. So this smells, it's very similar to that, but I love what they did. It's like they combined two fragrance DNAs into one. So they combined Baccarat Rouge 540 Extrait, and I feel like they also took like Creed's Virgin Island Water or some other creamy coconutty tropical fragrance, because this definitely has that really nice sugary kind of sponge sugar vibe in the original Baccarat Rouge 540. It's got that saffron and a little bit of that spiciness and some of that depth and that musk, but at the same time it adds a really nice lime coconut, and it smells a little bit like a tequila or like a gin of some sort. So it smells like a tropical version of that Maison Francis Kurkdjian. So if that sounds good to you, then I think this is definitely going to be an easy wear, and it smells so amazing in the air when you're walking by somebody. It's like intoxicating when you walk by them. People are going to notice this stuff, and I absolutely love catching little wafts of it as I go throughout my day. And you know, you can spray your clothes, your hair, and you're going to smell like heaven anywhere that you go. That one is City Rhythm Red Line 2654 Extrait de Parfum. Now for Wednesday, I went with a really nice high quality Middle Eastern fragrance. You can get this one for about 40 bucks, and this one is Swiss Arabian's Shaghaf Oud Azraq. This is one of my favorites in their entire Shaghaf line, and it's one of my favorite flankers. I'm like speechless every time that I smell this. This stuff has a really beautiful honey-like note in there. It's got some agar wood, and it's also got some nice white florals in there. So it has like a floral honey vibe combined with, again, that nice agar wood and some tonka and some slightly syrupy ambery notes. So it's going to be a warm fragrance, but again, it has a nice tiny bit of that floral vibe in there, and I absolutely love the way that this is blended. I think they use really high quality ingredients in this, and it's going to get you very close to that menthol honey oud. It's very similar to that, and I'm honestly really surprised at how well this performs. It'll last you all day, and I feel like it goes super strong for the first 4 or 5 hours. You can still smell it on your clothes about 12, 14 hours later. In fact, I remember I smelled this over 24 hours later. In fact, I remember I wore the same shirt the next day and I smelled this stronger than the dry down of the next fragrance we're going to talk about. So this one actually performed better, and I could still smell it longer even after the next fragrance died down. So it's insane. But if you want to smell like a really nice honey glaze, almost like a honey bun, if you want to smell like a nice sugary, cinnamon, oudi honey bun, this is going to be for you. This one is Shaghaf Oud Azraq by Swiss Arabian. Now this next fragrance, really versatile, easy to wear. It's a compliment puller for sure. This one is from the house of Ahmed Maghribi, and this one is blue. So this is going to be very familiar. It's going to smell like a few fragrances. It's going to smell a lot like the Bleu de Chanel. I think it's the Eau de Parfum, I want to say, or the Eau de Toilette, maybe like a mix between the two. It doesn't quite smell like the Parfum, but it's got that really nice energetic vibe from the original. It's citrusy, and it's got that nice blue kind of soapy quality with a nice bit of sweetness. But I really do appreciate that muskiness in this. So it's like it takes all of those notes, and I feel like it adds a little bit of ambergris and more musk. It definitely does do that same exact DNA, but just slightly different. I have not smelled an Ahmed Maghribi fragrance that I don't like, but this one, I think it's definitely the more easy to wear. It smells designer, but again, with a little bit more of that ambergris and a little bit more of an update, maybe some mint or something in there. But this one's really good. The only thing I don't love about it is the performance or the longevity. It's about probably a 6 to 7 hour, but on myself, I start to kind of lose the smell after about that like 6 hour mark or so. It smells really good while it does last, and you know, there are some definitely longer lasting Ahmed Maghribi fragrances, but this one, easy to wear. It's cheap enough as it is for about 30 bucks, and it's a nice twist to that Bleu de Chanel vibe. And that one is Ahmed Maghribi's Blue. Friday, it definitely ramped up in the heat. It was almost 100 degrees outside. It was insane. I don't know what our weather is doing. But this one was perfect. This one is the epitome of clean, fresh, and soapy. This one is from the house of Wataniah. This one is Lazuli. So this is going to be a Tom Ford Neroli Portofino twist. In my opinion, this has that beautiful neroli, that orange blossom, the lemon, and all those citruses that make it smell very classy, like a nice Italian soapy fragrance. But I feel like this adds a little bit more of a creamy quality, and it also adds a little bit more musk. So if you love neroli based fragrances, this is going to be perfect. And I think the performance is okay. It's about a 3 hour performance where it's pretty good, and then it still lasts a good 12 hours or so. It's not going to be the strongest as it kind of dies down, but it goes really hard in the opening, and then as those notes kind of fizzle off, all of the bergamot, the lemon, and everything, you're left with this nice kind of subtle musk that lasts throughout the entirety of the day. So you're still going to smell clean. You may have to get a little bit closer to people so they can smell some of that neroli and some of those other notes that aren't quite as strong at the opening, but it's still really good for the price. And that one is Wataniah's Lazuli. And also you can get this one for about $20. So it's a really good alternative, and I'm curious to see how it pairs up against the Maison Alhambra, I think the Neroli Porto, or Porto Neroli. For Saturday, it was a super chill day. It was really nice and cool outside, but I still wanted to go for a nice aquatic fragrance and something to kind of just make me feel like I was on the weekend or like a vacation. And this one is from the house of Barrett fragrances. This one is Nurture. So this is going to be an aqua sapphire twist. To me, this smells like Orto Parisi's Megamare, but with a little bit more of an ambery touch, and it's not quite as citrusy. So it's like it takes everything that I like about the Orto Parisi Megamare DNA, where it's that nice seaweed, soapy, citrusy vibe, and it also combines a nice depth to it. So almost like a blend between Shaghaf 40 knots and also that Megamare DNA. Maybe leaning more towards Megamare, but I think it definitely does that kind of woody vibe with some of those sea salts, but it adds a little bit of an ambery kind of driftwood depth to it. And I really like how it smells. It's been lasting a long time. I can still smell it on my shirt that I wore yesterday. And you know, this one, it's really good for the price. It's an extrait de parfum, and you can even save 20% on your purchases with the code COMMONSENSE. So be sure to use that at checkout. You can save some money and support the channel. But this one, it was really good. It lasted me all day, and that one is Barrett Fragrance's Nurture. And then today I was in the mood for a really nice Middle Eastern niche fragrance. And this one is from the house of Amouage. This one is called Lineage. Now, I love Amouage. It's one of my favorite niche fragrance houses of all time. And basically everything that they come out with is never gonna have performance issues. I haven't had one that lasts under like 12, 14 hours. And this one just smells so incredible. Again, this one is Amouage Lineage, but this is gonna be one of the coolest resinous and just very radiant fragrances that you're gonna wear. So it has a mysterious quality. It's got like an incensey vibe. It's got myrrh, saffron. It's got like Peruvian pepper. So it's real peppery and woody. And at the same time, I think it also has, I forget the note, but it's like a yellow spice that kind of reminds me a little bit of curry, but it's not gonna be like a gross spice. It's just a nice touch to it that gives it a bit of grit and a bit of earthiness. And I just love everything about this fragrance because it combines everything that I love about those Middle Eastern spicy resinous fragrances. It encapsulates it all together really nicely, and I feel like it has some spruce or some just really dry earthy wood in here that cuts through, and it will make yourself known for sure. Your presence will be known wherever you go. People are going to smell you and they're going to be like, that smells so unique. And I feel like you're going to drive some conversation with this fragrance. But I absolutely love the bottle, and despite this one being in the women's presentation, like the women's bottle, I think this one is definitely, you know, worn by anyone. I love wearing this one. It's very resinous, and I would argue that this is definitely unisex and even slightly masculine leaning. So that one is really good, and it was a great way to end off this Sunday and start my next week. So this one is Amouage Lineage. Again, great for anybody who likes spice and resin fragrances. So that was my week in fragrances. Again, let me know down below what you've been rocking this week, and I'd love to talk about it. Let me know if you've tried any of these fragrances or if you have any other recommendations from some of these houses. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you stay safe out there, and remember, you can do it this week, and I'm rooting for you. I'm Eli with Common Sense. Until the next time, bye-bye.